everyone. Good morning, good afternoon,
Hi.
from my
Hi.
end. And um, I know it's been a while. I think the last time you saw me, I came here alone, and it was like, who? What is this guy coming to do? And today we are going to be having another session. And last time we met, we discussed on Erasmus Mundus scholarship, the approach and ways to go about getting your yes in the Erasmus Mundus world. And but today there's something big that is going to be happening, and that is the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship application. I believe we all know it's currently on, and a lot of us have questions that they would like to ask, the approach, what and what do I need to do? How do I come about this? As you all know, I'm not a Commonwealth Share scholar, but we have amazing speakers with us. And trust me, I came here the last time alone, and I'm coming here with two wonderful, amazing speakers. Trust me, you don't want to miss out. Stay tuned. Still to the end. You won't regret. And yeah, let's go in proper. Um, my name once again is Olusegun Oluwafemi and Erasmus Mundus Awadi. I welcome every of the audience and listeners for today's meeting or scholarship talk. And a quick announcement before we start for our hosts, for our audience on LinkedIn, would kindly appreciate. Currently, you should be seeing the post Currently, you should be seeing the advertised post on LinkedIn. And peradventure you have a question to ask, would plead that you ask your question after clicking the video. You tap on the video, then comment, not on the post. If you make the if you ask your question in the post, we'll be able to see that. But if you ask after it has been tapped, from our hand here, we'll be able to see your questions. So that's for our LinkedIn viewers. And okay, as you are joining as well, please kindly drop your name, where you're joining from. We'd like to know where our viewers are from and those listening to us. Yes, so that's just the short announcement for today. As you all know, today is basically the Commonwealth Shield Scholarship, and we have our amazing speakers among us. I will be saying their name, and they'll be making a short intro about themselves, who they are, and before we go in proper. So here with me today is Koru Doris, an Erasmus. Sorry, not an Erasmus. Sorry, I'm used to that. So yeah, Doris, please unmute yourself and can you give us a short intro about yourself?
Okay. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Depending on wherever you are and wherever you're listening to us from. Um, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to share my insights into scholarship application and to be more specific, Commonwealth scholarship application. My name is Koru Doris, and I recently concluded my master's in mechanism and therapy in cancer from Brunel University of London, which was funded by Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. Um, I'd say my journey before and after the scholarship has been really, really interesting. Before the scholarship, I really wanted to do something related to cancer because it was my motivation was born from something personal. I lost my mom to breast cancer, so I've been looking forward to going into cancer research, and on this very important occasion, I learned about the Commonwealth Scholarship. But when I learned about the Commonwealth Scholarship, I didn't just apply after, like, maybe I saw the scholarship today, I went on to apply tomorrow. No, that's not what I did. I stayed back, sat down, thought about what I wanted to do, organized myself, and then the next year I went forward to make the application. What I'm trying to say is Commonwealth Scholarship is not a scholarship application you do by rush. You need to take your time. You need to understand yourself first. You need to know what you want to do for the future. You need to actually have like a motivation before you go into to do the application. That's like actually um telling the scholarship panels actually who you are. want to do. So by God, as God may have it, I got the scholarship, and the phase of the journey was really good for me because I had the opportunity to be funded because I wouldn't have been able to fund myself. And also I got the opportunity to learn new things, new stuff, new laboratory skills, and at least I learned new things. That's so far for me. I learned new things that I couldn't have learned if maybe I didn't get the scholarship. So I'm really grateful to Commonwealth shared and Commonwealth for giving me this opportunity to at least gain this knowledge. I'm so happy. Thank you, Commonwealth,
Thank you so much,
so much.
Doris, for that background check and how it has been so far. And yeah, our next speaker here with us is Hayomide. You can see how calm she is. She's like, oh. So Hayomide, you guys don't want to miss out from today's meeting. Trust me. You know what they used to say something. Um, so, okay, let me not say it. So, yeah, Hayomide, please can you just give an introduction about yourself? Who are you? What you're currently doing at the moment, and the likes and the likes. Yeah, thank you.
Hi everyone. Good evening. My name is Ayomide Lukorede and I'm a current PhD student at the John Innes Center, Norwich, UK. Um, I had my master's degree in plant science and biotechnology from the University of Leeds. That's about like 3 years ago, and that was sponsored by Commonwealth scholarship. But prior to that, um, yeah, I my background is in microbiology. I studied in Leeds City University in Nigeria, and I knew I wanted to do something relating to biotechnology, and so I started looking out for scholarships. Um, and at the time, I had applied for, I had submitted 6 Commonwealth shared scholarship applications that year, of which I only got one, which was the one that took me to University of Leeds. But after my master's program, I applied for different scholarships, including Commonwealth again for PhD. And but this time I got 4 scholarship yeah, PhD scholarships to do my sorry. What I meant to say is I was successful in getting 4 PhD scholarships. One was the Commonwealth PhD, which I applied for. I got one to study at the University of Miami in the US. I got the one I'm currently on, the John Innes Foundation Scholarship. I also got another one. That was a neck panorama DTP scholarship or something, to study with my supervisor then, at the University of Leeds. So that was 4 successful PhD scholarships, of which I eventually took one, and I had to turn down 3. I said that to say the journey for scholarship application is not always smooth. Um, you get better the more you write, the more you practice, the more you apply for different scholarships, the more you have experience in writing good personal statements, research statements, or what different scholarships are looking out for, and also how to kill the interview. Because sometimes you get to the interview, but then you realize that after that you don't make progress. I had the same experience. There were different scholarships of which I got to the interview stage, and it was after the interview stage I didn't get it. So I'll just say you just need to be persistent, you need to be resilient, and like Kuru said, you really just need to get yourself organized, plan ahead of the scholarships, and just hope for the best in the end. Thank you.
Whew. Where should I start from? Audience, just give me comment. Where should I start from? So now you can see what I'm saying. That we didn't just we are not just coming here to play. We are trying to give you guys the best of the best. A lot of questions will be like coming on, and you guys will be like, "Why are we doing this talk? Are these people being paid for this? Are this and that and that and that?" Just do this mathematics. For every webinar, we get just one awardee for a scholarship. That's the goal. It's not the quantity, it's the quality. So just stay tuned. We are not here to just come and waste your time and do like that. You might be the single person that will be getting the yes, and if we are lucky, the probability can increase to 80%. So we can have a lot of winners getting this Commonwealth Share Scholarship. And I believe with this webinar today, you will learn more and you will be able to approach the scholarship from the application stage down to the um interview stage, and finally the congratulatory stage. Yeah, let's move forward further. Since our speakers have been able to properly introduce themselves, where they were coming from and where they are at the moment, we would like to before we start bringing questions from our listeners and viewers, I would like to ask some questions from each and every speaker we have today. And yeah, before we start attending those two questions, like I said, I would like to know let's start with Ayomide this time around again. Then we move. And she's still on the fire. So while Doris, she's preparing. So you said something while you were saying talking about your background. You said you applied for several applications during your first time, and eventually you were selected for Commonwealth Shared, and you got rejected. What did you think you did particularly in the Commonwealth Share Scholarship that was maybe different from the way you've been applying for other scholarships? What do you think you did uniquely that got you your years? What approach did you use? Because I believe there would be something different about your Commonwealth Share Scholarship that got you your years during your first time, and yeah, the approach you used and how you were able to go about it. Yeah, I can remember. I know we have some of our viewers who are just beginners that they might feel, oh, what are the documents and the likes to like do both before we enter into the documents, the requirements to pursue to getting the Commonwealth Share Scholarship. Firstly, let's know what made you stand out in this for your years in Commonwealth Share Scholarship, and just just be brief about that. Then Doris can also share her own uniqueness because everyone have their uniqueness.
So let me clarify something. What I meant was that that particular year, I submitted 6 Commonwealth shared applications
Oh,
to
okay.
different universities, and I only got one that was successful,
Oh,
which was the
okay.
one to the University of Leeds.
Okay.
Previously, I'd be applying for like Chevening. For Chevening, I got to the interview stage, and I think, in hindsight, what cut me off on that after the interview was a bad reference letter, which I now know better. So after that, I learned to work on my reference letters. Um, for the Commonwealth share, the applications, I think it was just a case of right being a right fit for a right program at a particular time. Do you understand what I mean? Having the right experience for the right program at the right time. Sometimes, because the other 5 applications were around my interest, like I said, okay, my background is in microbiology. I was thinking, oh, I really wanted to do something relating to infectious diseases, global health. I can't remember what the other 5 I applied for, but it would have been something relating to that line, sort of. The only applications that was different from the other 5 was this particular one, which was plant science and biotech. And that's because I felt, oh, I don't really have a plant science degree, or I have not studied botany. The only experience I had that relates to plant science and biotechnology was my 1 year program. That's the NYSC program I did at Bayero University in Kano, where I worked in a tissue culture lab. They were dealing with plants. I spent 1 year there. I gained some experience. And so when I was applying, picking different applications I wanted to do that year for Commonwealth, I saw plant science. I said, well, it was just, well, I have 1 year experience with this thing. Let me just use that my 1 year experience to write this application. And I was really surprised that that was the one that clicked. So that's why my take home from that is to tell you that do not restrict yourself. Give yourself enough time to plan ahead such that you can spread your net. Don't just be focused on, oh, I only want this MS. I'm sure there'll be like, to before this program I tried to look through the Commonwealth shared application program for this year. I noticed there's not much has changed, but I noticed that there are a lot of courses that are very similar that they have, but they have it in different universities. They might have slightly different titles, or of the courses might sound slightly different, but I'm sure if you look at the content, they'll be very similar. So somebody who is looking to apply for such a program, I will expect you to select at least three or four of all the similar, of the universities that are doing something similar around maybe your data science. I saw some data science, analytics, this and that, about three or five, and try to apply for all of that, because you never can tell which one will be your perfect match. And if there's anything else that you think might just be a side interest, try it out as well. Submit that application. And so I wouldn't say, your question was, what did I do differently? I think it was just a case of preparing. Oh, I don't want to go into how much I really prepared for those, to submit those. And my aim was 10 scholarship. I was aiming to submit 10 applications, but I could only do 6. So I gave myself enough time, 3 months dedication, and enough. I prepared. That's just it. There was just enough time. I was dedicated to just submitting those applications that year, those Commonwealth applications. I gave it my all. I had people like, I was part of a mentorship WhatsApp group for something like this, where they were always helping us to review essays. I had friends that were also there to review essays, to hold my hand throughout that period, basically, because it can be a very emotionally and physically draining uh, experience, especially when you want to apply for several in a very short time. You need people around you to hold you by the hand and, keep you on track. Basically, I'll say that's just it. And I would just say also the grace of God. Sometimes when God just says it's your time, then it's your time, because I had been applying for several scholarships before that year. But I believe also that the experience I had gained in applying for all of those scholarships before that year helped me to brush up my writing and also prepared me for that particular year. So yeah.
Wow, that's just, yeah. Number one thing, don't restrict yourself. Number two, look at the content. Yeah, let's hear from Doris. So, what was your what do you feel made? What do you feel or you think actually made this particular application, your master's scholarship with Commonwealth Shared, more unique or different with respect to other applications you made so far?
You're mute.
Okay, yeah,
About that. For
okay,
me, I'd say it was God. Seriously, it was God.
okay.
Because this application was actually the first application I have ever made.
Mhm.
And I didn't get the chance to speak to previous scholars. I didn't get the chance to meet people to review my essays. I didn't get the chance of all of that. I just did what I had to do. All I did was, I'm going to be honest with you. I told my husband to help me review my essays, like just to help me correct the English, and that was it. Apart from God, because with everything behind it, it was God. But apart from God, I think experience, like you had previously said, it's very, very important. Like if you have if you have previous experience in whatever um you think you want to go into, either for a master's or a PhD, I think everything connects, and then you have a very strong you tend to write a very strong application. Because for me, when I go back to read my essays, I think the connection was there. I used
Yeah.
to work as a biomedical scientist, and I used to work with in a histopathology lab where we do cancer diagnosis, cancer research, and all of that. So, applying for a course that has to do with cancer research. Now, imagine me having an experience in cancer research, or having several experiences in cancer research, and then wanting to go into masters in cancer research. And writing an essay that connects previous experience with what I want to do in future, that is actually something that is very strong. You know, you mentioned that initially you had 1 year experience in biotechnology and all of
Yeah.
that just after your BSc, right? That was the first experience you had, job experience. The first experience was not in microbiology. So I think that's the reason maybe your essays did not connect. I don't know if you get me. Maybe your essays for the previous courses that you wanted to do, maybe related to microbiology, did not connect. But you see, the one that has to do with biotechnology, because you had 1 year experience, when you write, you just pour it out from your head. What you've done, it's natural. It's not something you have to force. You just pour it out because you have previous experience in it. So you see, God, you see that experience, it's very, very important. So if you want to choose a course, I'd advise you, you need to choose something that is related to what you have previously done. That will actually give you a very strong application. This is I can't lie to you.
All right.
That will give you, that's like the very first thing you should do. As a matter of fact, if you have other courses that maybe you just want to try, that should be like I have a friend who wants to apply for, let me give you an instance. I have a friend who wants to apply for biomedical science. Although he did biomedical science, but he has work experience in public health. He has so many papers under public health. And then there are so many courses too related to public health. You know why I advised him? Apply to public health, all the public health courses. And then if you have the time, you can now go for the biomedical science. I don't know if you get, because the public health at this point is what how should
Your
I put it?
strength.
Exactly, your strength. You shouldn't leave that and then apply for the biomedical science just because you feel like you have a BSc in biomedical science. No, you've done so much on public health. So when you write, it will pour out naturally. So that connection should be there, and then God. And then you should also do your homework. Do your homework. Read about the Commonwealth scholarship. Go on YouTube. Join webinars. You should do.
Oh,
I didn't
goodness.
get the opportunity for this. If I had, maybe my essay would have been better than what it was. I don't know, but it was God. That's why I keep saying it was God. So that's just it for me.
Yeah, right. Thank you so much, Doris. I would like to bring out me. I'm the people's advocate, Doris. I'll fight for them. so, before I fight for them, firstly, one point I would like to bring out for those that are having that issue. You said something that interests me, which is review. Yes, from the start, you said you had no one to check through your applications, that like you had no one, but there was still a particular factor, your husband. So most people kind of tend to feel like, oh, I can't proceed in submitting application if like all they ask, who can help me review my application. They tend to look for scholars that have gotten it. Yeah, it's perfect. But one thing you should understand is most of the scholars are busy as well. They are going through a lot at the moment.
Yeah.
So I would just add this to it, that if you can't find a scholar on an awardee for the particular scholarship you are looking for, your husband, like she said, your wife or your children or your brother, your sisters, your friends can actually help you in reviewing yourself. It is just you having a second eyes. Yeah, Ayomide wants to bring up something.
I just wanted to ask what our husband's occupation is.
My husband is an engineer. So I wanted to say something because when you're writing an essay, it's more like you're talking to yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're talking to yourself. You don't have a second person. Like, how do you see this? If I say this to you, does it sound right? How
Yeah,
strong is this sentence? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
yeah,
Because the most important thing is, apart from the connection, you need to be what's the word? You need to be persuasive. You need to be able. It's like a business proposal. For instance, you need to be able to persuade whoever it is that is gonna read the essay. Do you get me? So most times I read a sentence and I ask my husband, apart from the correction in my English, in my words, in my sentences, I ask my husband, how strong does this sentence sound? How do you think I should put it for it to sound more persuasive? You get, so that's like it's not just about maybe you need to find somebody in your field. You need to you so far your essays are connecting, like I said. If you have previous experience in whatever it is you want to do, you want to do for the masters or the PhD, your write up will be pouring out naturally first. That's one thing. Now, the other thing is writing it in a persuasive manner. That's where the second person comes in. Because the second person will not do the work for you by writing the whole thing. You will do the work first by connecting. And then the second person will just help you to make it stronger, to make it more persuasive. And then
Um, yeah.
that's just
Yeah, so thank you for that, Doris, for that great input, and as well, Yomide. So I will for the people, I had a particular question to ask. Everyone have been saying experience, 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 experience. But me, I counter experience. So I'm not saying what you all said is actually top notch. But for someone that is just currently finishing his bachelor degree, or um, and he or she is not either, because let's take for instance, a company is trying to you are trying to apply for a job. You are a fresh graduate, and you are coming and you're asking me how many years experience do you have in this line. It's actually difficult to just come up with which experience and the likes. So although I will answer the problem I created now, but if you have any input to hit, I can you can feel free. So yeah, experience is important. Like Ayomide said, she said she had 1 year experience, and you Dory said you have several experience in cancer and related stuff. For those who are questioning how will they get this experience, because I feel as a viewer, questions like this experience that they are talking about. I'm just finishing, I'm just graduating. Where do you expect me to get this experience from? Let me tell you the answer. The answer is from your IT, your internship. Every institute, higher institution actually undergo either 6 months or a 1 year. I don't know. So you can actually have that experience from there. You can actually have that experience from there, or preferably, there in Nigeria, there's always a 1 year compulsory service. You could get that experience as well from there. So if you have issues with how do you get that experience from, start from somewhere. They used to say something. If you cannot fly, run. If you cannot run, walk. If you cannot walk, crawl. Just make sure you keep moving. So yeah, I think I already wanted to say something before Doris, if I'm right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've I think you've both Doris and you have said a lot. In terms of experience, I just wanted to share that you just really have to be persistent and you have to plan your life. And I would really have advised anyone, that is trying to apply for scholarships to not put the pressure of, well, I want to this year, I must get it this year. This year, I just want to start my scholarship journey and I just want to get it this year. No, give yourself time to try out what the application process. It can work, it can click, good. But if it does not click the first time you try it, it's not a bad experience at all. It's for you to be able to learn what the application process is like and what to work on. You were talking about where to get experience. Like I'll share my own personal experience. I always wanted to do something about technology. I just had it ever since I was an undergraduate. I think from my second or third year, I knew I wanted to do something. I wanted to gain experience in molecular biology, but my university at the time was not so strong in that area. I knew that this is not what I really want. Then I looked around me. Where can I get this experience? I realized that UCH, they have a genetics lab. That was from doing my research and looking for where I can get that experience. Because I was in Ibadan, I went there. It was around the time I was doing my IT, like you said, the IT they do for every student. But where they had posted me for my IT was in the microbiology department, where because I was doing a degree in microbiology, that's where they had posted me to go and get IT training in microbiology. Well, I knew I wanted something different. So during that time, because there was enough time for you to do whatever you like, I went on my own to the genetics department. I spoke to the person there and I told them, please, I want to gain, even if it is just 2 weeks experience in this place. I spoke to them and to cut the long story short, they gave me the opportunity to intern there for like two, and that was where I built connections, you know, to get even a job after one of the companies that used to come to the genetics department. I was able to work with them by the time I finished my degree, years later. But because they had seen a track record of me being a student in the genetics department, there's just been a connection. There were so many things that opened several doors. I'm just saying, and aside from that, I also went on my own to the medical microbiology department where they work on real human samples, not just IT training. They don't usually take people there, but because of my persistence, I was always on their neck. I said I wanted to gain experience here, even if it's just 2 weeks. They allowed me. I gained that experience. So those were experiences of me pushing myself beyond what was just take this. If you want something, you just have to go after it. Go after it. I used to tell people the worst they can say is no. But for me, I will go there first and try my best, and I wait for them to tell me no before I will agree that it is a no. I won't say because they tell other people no, they will tell me no. That's how I do my life. If they've been telling people no, let me get there and let them say no to me, because the way I will talk to you is different. So until I hear the no by myself, that's when I will agree that it's a no. So please look for opportunities around you. There will always be opportunities. Gain that experience, even if it's 2 weeks. Write it on your CV. It can really, really help, because then you're not just saying something abstract. You're not just lying. You will have the confidence to put it and write how that thing or that experience has inspired you on your application, and they actually go a very, very long way. Talking about who to review essays, I just wanted to buttress the point of sometimes you actually want somebody, you want both somebody that is in the field and somebody who is not in the field to read your essay, because if your essay can make sense to somebody who's not in your field, especially if somebody who is not in your field but very smart. That is the point I'm going to make. Somebody who is not in your field but very smart, smart enough to know how to critique your work, that, oh, this sentence you wrote, because you can write it and it will make sense to you. But somebody who is not in your field and is reading it, and that you will be like, I don't understand what you're saying. So, but if your essay can make sense and can persuade somebody who is not in your field, then you've written a good one. Not just somebody that has not just the technical jargon, because you must remember that the people that are scoring the application might not be, they might have an idea, but they will not be so technical. So you don't want it to be filled with a lot of technical jargons. You just want it to read well. You want it to tell your story. You want it to be organized. You want it to be well structured. You want anybody that picks it to be able to read it and know who you are and what you're trying to say, basically. So I guess those are the two things I wanted to say.
Thank you so much, Haramide. I told you I brought fire for fire. We're not playing here. So, yeah, we are basically on Commonwealth shared scholarship, and I would like us to stick with that. So, yeah, I know Doris have an input to her to that, but she can add that input while I bring up this question, and you will be the first to please attend to this. I want us to start attending to questions from our viewers immediately. So yeah, we have a question from Tete. Sorry if the team house 6038. So he or she has the question. In the scholarship application, there are places where word limit are stated, like up to 200 words. Is it okay to write beyond the limit, even though the box can contain more words than the limit? So I want just a quick answer. We still have more questions to come in, and just the direct answer to that, and we move to the next question. So over to Doris.
The answer
What do you think?
is no. Please stick to the word count. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You can see Ayomid's expression as also, if you are trying to go beyond the word count, you have your hands up, stick to the word count. Yeah, we have another question. Okay, currently I observe that successful scholars are also good storytellers. Please, in the CSC essays, can you repeat a particular story shared in development impact essay? So Ayomide, yeah, go on.
Um, you can repeat, because you have to realize, yes, you can, but don't lift the words exactly how you have written it in a particular part of your essay and put it back in another part of your essay. Do you understand what I mean? The common, so you have to realize that the people that are reading this, they are human beings and they know what they are doing, because they know the whole essay. Some of the questions can have answers that are intertwined. You might have to repeat yourself in some of the places, but you have to repeat it in such a way that you are not just copying and pasting exactly what you said. You can rephrase it, you can rewrite it, because this is still you. It is still one person that they're asking. So your experiences regarding a particular question will literally be the same. It's just that how you will say it. So how I will have answered that question in my development impact XA, if I want to repeat something relating to that in my personal statement, the story will be there, but how I will say it will be slightly different. Let me just cut it short like that. Don't just copy and paste again the same thing you have written in a particular place, the exact same words, and paste it in another part of your essay. I don't think that is good at all.
All right. Thank you so much. Doris, do you have an input to this question as well?
Yes, I do. First of
Okay.
all, before you answer a question, you should understand the question. Now, if I ask you, why do you want to do this particular course? That's the first question. And I also ask you, what do you plan to do in the next 5 years after studying this particular course? Now, if you think about the answer, you might actually be saying the same thing, right? Because, for example, I'll use myself. Why do I want to do why do I want to do a master's in cancer research? Obviously, I want to help combat against cancer. I want to join the group that fights against lung cancer, breast cancer, to bring about 100% good health in my country. Now, if maybe I want to answer the question of um what do I want to do in the next 5 years, it will basically be the same thing, but the way, like she said, the way you answer the question, that's what matters. That's really what matters. Because if why you're answering why you want to do the study, you're answering it with a different perspective. And then when you're answering the question of what do you want to do in the next 5 years after the study, you're answering it with a different perspective. The answers might be alike, but the way you actually answer them is the difference between the both of them. So you don't just copy and paste. You should first of all understand the question and answer it in relation to the question. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, you're muted.
That is perfect. Perfectly said, Kuru. A quick example to what you have just said is why will probably be a tone. Will you write it in a tone of um what motivates you to want to do that? What's like the what inspires you? Like at the beginning of the program, you mentioned something about why you wanted to study cancer research, because you have a personal experience of losing your mom to cancer. So there is an emotional side or touch to that. That whoever reading that will probably feel it. But when we are not talking of after this, what do you want to do? That is more in will be more in terms of impact. Now, when I get this experience, this is what I want to do with it. So the tone will be more in terms of, oh, these are the results. I want to be this. I want to be able to pass this knowledge in this area. I want to be able to do. So it is still you. One or two things might be the same, but the tone will be different, and the result of those questions will be different. So yeah, I was just giving an example to for people who might be listening and
Yeah, thank you so much, Mayomide, and thank you, Doris, for that. I believe those that asked the question currently are already finding one or two to do with the current application. Now we have a next question from Ogeshi, and I am having a hard time with my personal statement. Is it the only place to is it the only place to show your work experience, or any other place in the essay as well? So we're ready to battle with this. Ooh. Okay, yeah, Doris, good.
I like to say yes, your personal statement is where you sell yourself, is where you talk about yourself, is where it should be more detailed. Like whatever it is you want to write about your work experience should be more details. For me, what I did was, for my personal statement, it was detailed. My work experience. You're not saying, you're not in your personal statement, you're not saying based on this work experience, you want to do this master's degree to achieve this in the future. No. But in other part of my essays, I just connected my work experience to my master's degree, like my intended master's degree, and then what I want to do in the future. I don't know if this makes sense. This is like how I can this how I can simplify this for you to understand. So basically, your personal statement, you're just writing about your work experience. You're selling yourself. You're telling them what you've done, what you've, everything that you've done. But in other part of your essays, you could write about what you've done, so in summary, and then connect it with maybe your master's degree, your intended master's degree, and then what you want to do in the future. Let me see if I can remember how I wrote my essay then. For
But
example, when
before,
they asked,
sorry, before we proceed to that, I think Aramide is raising her hand, so
okay,
we
okay,
can go. Yeah, we can get back to you.
It's not the only place to show your work experience. In fact, I believe personal statement is not the major place to show your work experience. I think that person is forgetting that there is a CV that you're also going to submit.
Hmm.
Your CV will have like a summary of all your experiences. Will have your education. In your work experience, you will list your job title, what you did. That CV is very, very important. They read it and they look at it, and I'm sure there's a score for CV as well. So try and put real relate what do they call work experience that is in relation to whatever you're applying to. You might have several work experiences, but try to pick the ones that are only related to what you're applying to in your CV. Do you understand? Don't just jam pack everything so that there will be a flow and that there will be a connection. And that work, the ones that are now relating to what you want to apply to, be free to put iPhones to say, try to give an like bullet point of what you did. What role did you feel during that work experience? What was your impact? Oh, during my time I trained 20 students, and because of that there was an increase in if it's quantifiable. During my time I worked in social company and I was able to help in increasing maybe the revenue by 10% in so. Whoever is reading that has an idea. Let it be a quantifiable. Don't just say, "Oh, I've experienced teaching students." How many students? For how long? What was the result? Just bullet. It doesn't have to be a lot. Just bullet points. Let that be there in your CV. Also, in your CV, you have the experience of putting extracurricular activities, things that maybe that have to do with leadership experience. That is one thing Commonwealth always looks for: leadership experience in terms of, because there's also an essay where you write about your leadership experience aside from your personal statement. Your CV is a good place to highlight several extracurricular. Oh, maybe you volunteered for social NGO, you have done social community service, you've done this and that. Try and put it in your CV so it's already there, even if you're not able to expand on all. So for your personal statement, I feel more personal statement should tell more of your personal story and let more of the most of the work experience like or the leadership experience like go into the leadership essay. The personal experience, like they said, the question says they want to know you, what motivates you. They want to, in that should be more of the emotions. What is driving you wanting to study this course? Why do you want to, what's going to be the impact to the society? Why do you see yourself doing a master's program? Things like that. What has been your own what have you done as a person, to try and improve things around you to solve the problem in your own scale, in your environment, and how do you see the program helping you to be able to even do better? Things like that. How you have overcome challenges as a student to get to where you are today, and how you think that has made you resilient to be able to study abroad. Things like that. That should be in your personal statement.
All
But
right.
their leadership statement, let it contain things about you that you have done. They want to see actions. Oh, I saw this problem. This was what I did to solve it. This was my own contribution. It doesn't have to be big, big things. But whatever you've done to contribute to your society as a leader, no matter how small, no experience is small, trust me. Even if it's this is as a student, whatever, even if it's just in your department or just your class that you've coordinated something, all of those things count. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Aramide. And I'm telling you that you don't want to miss out from today's meeting. You thought I was just playing. Don't worry. If you miss just 1 minute of it, but you are still a playback, you can go back to your YouTube channel and just watch back. Yeah, I believe Doris still have more input to add to the questions. But
Yes.
before we proceed, we have more of our viewers dropping questions back to back. This is a Commonwealth Share Scholarship, and this is the season we have to give them. We have to try as much as we can to attend to most of their questions. So at least there's a positive a value is added to their time spent here. So while the next question come up, you could actually still add to it, but please, I would like us to be fast about that. And yeah, the next question is it against the Commonwealth by Aneke? Sorry if I pronounced your name wrongly. Is it against the Commonwealth policy to contact a particular professor in the university you are interested in to probably show an interest in their research work? So let's start with Doris. Yeah, so yeah, what's your okay.
Okay. For this question, I think if you want to do a PhD, that's where you do that. I think I'm not sure because for me, I did not really contact anybody. But if you want to do a PhD, you need to like get a supervisor that wants to supervise you before you go into the application. But for masters, you don't need to do all of that. So
Okay. So I let me just buttress the point a bit. It's if you want to reach out, you can, but it's not compulsory. Stephanie. But you don't need it, so don't stress yourself. Instead, focus more on submitting application to other schools. Don't say I say that. So yeah. Next question for my CSC PhD application. Oh, I forgot to include the full reference in the research section. I only added that in text citation because of 4,000 characters. What do you think? So before we give our speakers room to answer this question, I believe the PhD application is currently closed. Because currently now it is the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship we are discussing. But as you know, there's something I don't put my mouth in what do not concern me. So I will not put my eyes in. No, it's not my area. So yeah, Doris or Ayomide, do you want to? Okay, Ayomide, do you have any response to this?
To
I
what?
think he said he forgot to include references in his research section, meaning he has a research, maybe a research statement, and he forgot to add the references to that. He only added in-text citation. Oh yeah, now I get the question. He only added in-text citation because of word limit. What do you think? Is it compulsory during when you are writing your research paper um, to put in references, or what do you feel? Let's just add
Um,
this.
for me, I think what I did when I submitted my PhD application was to put like links, sort of. I tried to shorten the references, maybe the DOI links. That's what I put because they know you have very short word limit. So I didn't put like the full, apart from the in text. I just put references and then put like DOI links to the papers. A few of them, the major ones, not even all. If you forgot to include it, that's fine. I won't be able to tell whether that will be a major thing, but I don't think just that little. Nobody writes a perfect essay. We probably made one or two errors that I don't think that would be a thing for you to worry too much about because if your research statement reads well, they know that it probably even if they will take away marks for not include that, I don't think that's a major thing that would probably cancel or not allow you to get a scholarship or things like that. No, I don't think. I personally don't think you should worry too much about it because I don't know how that will be scored, but I don't think you should worry too much about it.
And we had a comment from the viewers as well that I mean, no, from even our organizer that she didn't put full reference. So Mohammed, relax. Don't worry. You are getting your yes. Just relax. Just trust God and be hopeful. Yeah, so we still have more questions coming in. And from Adam Sal, I think CV is not required in this in the application. And so that's his own comment. in this case, does it mean everything should just be squeezed in the personal statement? So coming from Adam, I feel maybe this current application season, there's no need for CV. But with like I used to say, it's not I mind my own business. So for Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, is there need for CV? And if there's need for CV, we will have to correct Adam that, oh yes, there's CV included, and also give him a feedback on excusing it into his application. So I think Doris raised her hand up. Doris, do you want to? Yeah. So
Yeah,
yep.
actually, when she was talking, I was trying to think to remember if maybe I submitted a CV or something, but I did not. Seriously, I did not.
Okay.
So I just had to squeeze stuff. I'm Commonwealth shared, by the way. I don't know if that's different
Okay.
for Commonwealth masters. I'm Commonwealth shared, so I didn't submit a CV. So I just had to squeeze everything into my personal statement, voluntary experience, and every other thing. So I don't know about Commonwealth masters.
Now
Okay,
I
let me
remember.
sorry, Ayomide, let me add to this. Sorry, I know to mind my business a bit. For the CV part, like I've first I would like to clarify something for our viewers. There is difference between Commonwealth Master Scholarship, Commonwealth PhD Scholarship, and Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. So currently now we are on Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, and some requirements in Commonwealth Master Scholarship and PhD might be different from Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, because I feel you will be submitting to the school as well. So maybe submitting an application to the school, you are already submitting your, there will be a requirement for CV in the school application. You say, I try small. So there will be a requirement for submission of CV in the school. But for the Commonwealth shared, the application itself, as Dory said, you might not need to submit that. So what do you need to do in terms of that personal statement? I think Ayomide or Dory said it. That yeah, Ayomide said you just need to take a work experience that perfectly aligns with the research or your past with what you are planning to apply for. For instance, you worked in an industry where they produce pipes, and also that's 1 year. You also have an experience at NIMR, permit me to use that company, that institute, NIMR, where you worked on, you work experimental, you work experimentally with experimental techniques using some stuff related to agriculture. What work experience would you make mention of in that your personal statement? Trust me, you won't want to talk about the pipeline here. I'll be the production of pipe. Instead, you talk about the one that perfectly aligns to the program you're applying for. So you using every of your work experience does not mean you should carry everything. You're a teacher, you're a plumber, you're this and that. Now put it in your personal statement. No, just what is related to your program, the program you're applying for, and your university will also still request for CV. So they will see everything. You get a conditional. I have a question on that. So yeah, my media wanted to add to this. So
Commonwealth shared, as the name implies, the university has a role to play in your getting the application. Please don't forget.
that's the next question.
Apart from Commonwealth, they do the first they give you admission, and then when you submit to Commonwealth, the school also has, I think the school has a chance to see or select as well what students they want. So there's kind of whatever document you submit to the school, somewhat directly or indirectly also, you understand what I'm saying, aside the Commonwealth application, apart from, you get admission to the school first, but when they also get your Commonwealth application, they send it to the school. When they begin to do the selection, the school also, as they say, because they are paying some part of your funding, the school also has a say in choosing the students that they want that aligns with their program as well. So apart from looking at your documents, whatever document they've had previously from giving you admission as well also counts if they need to go and cross-check anything. That's what I'm just putting that out there. That's not a major problem. I'm just saying that try to be detailed, both the CV and all. I just looked at the Commonwealth document again. Yes, you're. I don't think you're particularly uploading a CV document, but the first set of questions they will ask you is like you're putting your CV into those boxes. Basically, they ask for employment, your experience, this and that. There's opportunity for you to put a few of those things into the form actually, because they will ask you for your qualifications and some of the experience, employment, or whatever. Put the ones that are most related. Then in the application, even if you have various experience, there's some experiences that how I would tell the experience is different, might be different because of what I'm trying to say. For instance, if the NMI, I just want to pick on the previous example Femi mentioned. If I'm in a section and I am trying to give an example of my scientific experience, and the only scientific experience I have is at that end, I can mention that. But if I am writing in another section where I'm trying to highlight maybe my productivity or leadership experience or how I've given back to the community, and NMI, whatever my experience at NMI is not giving me that, but the one I did at pipes or something that is not even relating to science is giving me that experience.
Yeah.
The point is how I write it. What am I trying to point? I'm trying to talk about maybe how I saw a problem and I solved it. Oh, during my time at working with pipes, something happened in the company. Nobody took address of it, and I, as a student, based on my experience, I was able to figure it out, and I created so solution to end that problem, which resulted to this. That scenario, you are not talking about the pipe or not the pipe. You're talking about your ability to identify a problem, give a
Mhm.
solution and solve it. So it's about how you say it. So look at all those experiences. Which one tells what story better? Because there are different things they are trying to find out about you with those different questions. They want to know, are you a leader? Are you a problem solver? Do you understand science? When you finish your CSC, do you have the potential of giving back to your society, because they are giving you money, they are sponsoring you. They want to believe sponsor one, sponsor many. If we sponsor you, how will that result into helping other people as well? How many more people will they reach by reaching you? So they want to see what you can do, what you have the potential of doing. So it's just about pick different experiences and know what you want to say with those experiences in your different essays. Do you understand? So that's just what I wanted to say.
Thank you, Ayomide. I have so much strong feeling that the next question is going to is going to align with what Doris has in mind as well. So let's hope for that. So there's the question. Sorry, I joined you now. How can I be a benefactor of this Commonwealth scholarship? I got a conditional offer from Teesside University, Middlesbrough, UK. So I feel this is kind of related to um, the prompt of university, getting offer from university and Commonwealth, something like that. So I don't know if anyone has a contribution to this particular question. And while we think of it as well, there is another question because our viewers are just giving us back to back. Um, and feel free to just attend to this question. And if you have any other input that we've not been able to see, they've not asked, and if you want to see, you can just see all along in just a few minutes, and I bring up the next question. Okay. While we have that, there's a question. Can I apply to CSC now and then apply to the partnering school later after the CSC deadline, since I can still apply to the school by January? So this person is particularly saying, can I apply to the school that I already put in the CSC application season? I think it's always 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I don't know. So can I just put in the school name and apply to the school later? Or I must apply to the school first before applying to the, or I must gain admission to the school first before. So
Doris, do you want to answer that?
I have a thing or two to say about that. Um, about this, you know, it's not mandatory that I need to have an admission. Let me start from there.
mhm.
It's not mandatory that I need to have an admission, but I'll just give you my own advice. I'd advise you to at least start an application to any school or the school of your choice. Because during my application for Commonwealth Share, there's a part where I had to put in my university registration number, like the application number I used for the school. Like they had a point where I had to put it in. I don't know what that was used for. Maybe to connect the two application. I don't know, but I had to put in my application number or my registration number. So I wouldn't advise you to, personally, I don't know about another person, but I wouldn't advise you to um apply to Commonwealth scholarship when you have not gotten that number. You can actually start an application to get the number and then do the scholarship. Later you complete the university application. I don't know if you understand. Start the application, because once you, for every university, once you register to start maybe uh, 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 um an application for any course, you will automatically be given a registration number. So it's that registration number that Commonwealth usually ask you to put in during your application for the individual schools. So that's my personal advice.
Go ahead.
On my own, during my own time, like I said, because I gave myself time, I tried to submitted the application for all the schools because immediately. So, for instance, immediately Commonwealth application opened. I've been preparing myself. I looked at the school in like 1 or 2, 3 days, picked the school, opened the different applications for all the school at once, started an application for all the schools, got all my documents, submitted the personal. I think I did that in like 1 week or so. So I had sent out at least applications for most of the schools I wanted before starting this CSE applications, because I wanted that at least hopefully in before I would then finish before the deadline of the CSE applications, I was hoping that the schools would have gotten back to me. For me, I tried to, for the schools that got back to me before I submitted their CSA application, I tried to tell them that, oh, I found somewhere to put it in my essay that I already got admission to the university of this. So I just need a scholarship to get me through through my this thing. So because I think Commonwealth is part of their requirement. I think I saw it that they said you must have submitted. I don't know if they said you must have gained admission, but they require that you must have at least submitted an application to a university before submitting Commonwealth share. So don't wait, because this person said, can I apply now? And they apply to the school later. No, please apply to the school now. Maybe if you're not able to finish the application to the school, like Doris said, you might still, because you've already started the application and you have a number, maybe that can fly. I don't know. But in my own case, I tried my best to have submitted the school applications. I had not heard back from them when I started working on the CSA applications, but because I had submitted the applications, I knew that many of them got back to me before at least before the deadlines of the CSA application. And the ones that didn't, I told them, I emailed the school that I need to know the result of my application, because see, I'm applying for Commonwealth scholarship and they require me to know, I want to know if I have this admission or not. Some of them, because of that, got back to me earlier than usual and say, oh, we'll get back to you in like a week, or because they also know the truth is these schools, for any school that you see on the Commonwealth website, they know that students will be applying for Commonwealth and they know the deadline, and they know that students need their admission, so they are usually very quick in responding. So that is why I tell people, prepare before time. Try to have a rough personal statement around the course you're trying to up, so that the tweaking you will need to do once the application opens will not be too much. Already have your passport, have the different documents, the CV, have a good CV prepared. It's just the statements that you need to modify. You can do that in a few days. Trust me, school application does not need too much stress. Remember, it is the CSC that needs stress. Don't stress too much. Just make sure that it reads well, because the school is not paying money. They can give 100 student application at the same time, because they know the only student that they will eventually take are the ones that have the money. Do you get what I mean? So giving you admission is not a problem for them. Anybody that submits at least a fairly good application would likely get admission. I'm not talking of top schools like Cambridge or Oxford, though, taking those ones out of the league. But if you submit a fairly good application to any school, you are likely to get admission. That one is not a serious something, because they will give anybody admission, but the only students that will eventually come in are the ones that have money. Do you get the logic now? So don't stress too
Thank
much. Just write
you.
the application and submit.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ejiro, for that. I told you I brought in fire, so don't. We can go on and on and on and on, but we have to just be time cautious. So there's a question, and this is quite very important. Can a second class lower degree be eligible? Are they eligible for the Commonwealth shared scholarship? Just a quick answer: yes, no. If yes, how? If no, why? I would like to give a response to that.
I think a second class lower can be eligible for Commonwealth share. The only thing is that you have to be more convincing. Your statement will have actually would probably need more experiences to justify. Aside your degree, you need to be able to show your excellence in other areas that can how will I say, that can make your application more, that can make your application stronger. Basically, I don't think because you have I think I've had cases of people who didn't really have first class getting Commonwealth scholarship, but because they have good evidences of excellence in other areas to match up whatever they want to do, the course they want to do, basically. So don't restrict yourself. It's just that you might need to share a lot more experiences, and your reference letter. People underestimate what reference letter can do. You probably need more references because that are very, very strong reference to say this student can do this, can actually do this course and pass. Basically, it's because of time. Let me not say too much on that. But yes, you can.
Doris, how about you?
Yeah, I have something to say, and
Okay, okay.
you
No,
guys
no,
can,
go on.
you guys can
Don't be
correct
fast
me.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because recently when I was going through the Commonwealth scholarship page, I saw that the first class, yes, that's for sure. But the second class lower, you need to also have a master's. Recently, I don't know if maybe I didn't see right, but I think I saw that more than once. For a second class lower, you need to also attach a master's to make your application stronger.
Okay.
So it is you can do that work by going to the Commonwealth scholarship page to read and reread to know if a second class lower is actually eligible for that. Because what I
Okay.
saw, a master's has to be attached to.
Okay. That masters you made mention of, I will not talk there. I will not say anything yet until we attend to all the questions. Then I bring up the I want to solve our people who have two problem to solve that masters. So oh sorry. Please, can you share? Okay, oh, sorry, that's not necessary. What about those intending for a second master's possible? Like you had there, what about those intending for a second master's? Is it possible? So that's the question. Like you already have him. So yeah, I already have. Yeah, great.
I would say if you're try not to put it in your essay. I also had a master's degree after I finished my before I applied for my Commonwealth masters. Try not to put it in your essay because if somebody has a master's degree, I want to come for a second master's, I will need the person to convince me well why I should give you and not give somebody that's not had a master's at all. Do you get what I mean? You have to convince me why you want a second master's degree and you're not going to for a PhD or doing another program. Do you get what I mean? Try not to put that in your essay. Just put your BSc and all of your other experiences, but not say masters in. I didn't put for mine. I don't know if other people that have put for them got it, but I didn't put for mine when I applied.
Yeah, experience is more better. Since I am expected to select the preferred institution 1, 2, 3, can I make the other application for the same institution with their order changed?
I'm expected to select. Can I make? Sorry, I'm not sure I understand this question.
Okay. Can I make other applications for the same institution with their order changed? Meaning, possibly he wants to apply for other scholarship and they are requesting for maybe list of institutions. So can he still put in those institutions that I already put in for Commonwealth shared to the other applications? I don't know if I interpreted that question correctly. But for me, I'll just say go ahead. I have no say on that. But let's know this time. Can I use the same reference letter which I used in the last year application, not minding the date? Oh, this is for you.
Please
I
change the
think,
date.
yeah, I think you should change the date if you can. If you can reach out to whoever wrote it for you to just please change the date and update it, it's better.
Okay, I think I got an idea from Kenneth. So let's take for instance this question back. Probably he applied for Commonwealth Master Scholarship. Now he wants to apply for Commonwealth Share Scholarship, selecting some institution. So can he still put in that institution he put in Commonwealth Master Scholarship inside Commonwealth Share Scholarship?
If the institutions are being advertised under the Commonwealth shared, why not?
Okay. So Amos, I think you have your answer. So yeah, and let's see. I'm trying to see the. I'm just trying to check. I'm trying to check if there are other questions. Yeah. Is there a structure guide on the application? Because I have not done this before.
You're
Can I
muted.
answer to that?
If you go to the CSC website, there is a template for all the questions before you even start filling the form that shows you all the structure of all the questions they will ask you. You can use that to start preparing. But yes, there's a structure on the CSC website.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And now let's go back to this particular issue of tutu. Yeah, for our tutu, for those who graduated with tutu, what advice will you give to them? I think we're coming to the end of today's meeting webinar, but I would like to at least be an advocate for everyone regarding someone who graduated with tutu. But before that, let's hold on to that tutu. I like to tackle questions. What were the challenges you faced during your application season, and how were you able to counter it? Both speakers should give a, because I believe most viewers are also facing that challenge. Some one challenges or the other. So who knows? Your challenge might be what a viewer is currently facing, and how we're able to counter that challenge. Is it the challenge of recommendation letter? Is it the challenge of drafting the SOP or this personal statement or the essays? So what challenge did you face during the application season when you were applying, and how were you able to go about it all for IOMED and Doris?
Okay, so for me, my challenge was drafting all the SOPs, like to answer all of the questions, because these questions you don't just answer. There is a structure, like there is a way you should answer it to make it sound more persuasive. And I had challenge with that, like, and I'm not someone that used to be very good at writing, telling stories. So you know what I did? Um when we started, I mentioned that I didn't have any Commonwealth previous scholars to help me or anybody to guide me. So I just went to YouTube. I went to YouTube. I watched videos. Those videos, they are actually still saved on my YouTube. I watched like 70 something videos of people that have actually gained the scholarship. I
Wow.
won't lie to you. It was YouTube videos that helped me. I watched videos, so people that actually talked about how they structured their essay, how the essay should look like. If you want an outstanding essay, this is how you should write it. That was actually what I did, and
Wow.
it came out well for me.
Okay, thank you so much. I believe the viewers, the listeners are already taking one or two 70 videos. You guys will think it's just, oh, I'm happy to share. It's not just happy. It's with pain, with struggle, with sleepless nights, with nights when you feel like you want to remove your heart and just look at your heart. Please start. So there are things behind this, and it's not just the overall picture. You see, oh, I'm glad to say I'm studying at University of this and that and that. Yeah, I made the what were your challenges and how we're able to go about it all. And if you have a final statement, a final what you would like to share to the viewers, this is time for you to like just pour out anything you feel like somehow they must listen to. And yeah.
Before I forget this, I have several platforms where I've shared in detail things that I did on Commonwealth shared applications. I think on YouTube, I'll send them to Ejiro so that she can share to people that attended this program so that you can watch that. I had the opportunity to break down so many things, so some of your questions might be answered on those platforms. Um, but I would say my challenge then, because I was applying for six Commonwealth shared, was keeping track of everything, like keeping track of, oh, have I submitted this document to this school, have I written this for this school, and trying not to just be generic. Somebody was saying, can you just edit your this thing, just change the name for different schools I use. I tried my best not to be generic, because each school has what is unique to them, and in trying to be generic, some you might forget, you might not even change the name of the school, and you go and paste University of this, University of Warwick. You go and send it to them. So I tried some of them will overlap. I probably use some things that will be common, some of the words, but I try not to just copy and paste and only change name of school. No. So that was really challenging, keeping track. So I had to be super organized, have like a board where I pasted all the things of the schools, the dates, the deadlines for each school, what I have done, ticking it for each school and all of that to ensure that I'm not missing out anything. Um, but also just I think what helped me the most in all of this was time, structure, and support. I wasn't doing it alone. I had somebody then that was willing to help me through that whole process. So that person was keeping me accountable throughout the whole 3 months that I spent, just dedicating it to Commonwealth scholarships and all of that, keeping track of everything. So I had someone. So I will implore you, if you're also in that shoe, try to find someone, especially, because like I said, it can be very, very draining and tiring. You can forget things, but if you have somebody who you are doing the checklist with and doing things with and helping you, it can really go a long way. So that really helped. Giving myself enough time really helped. Keeping myself organized. You need to be really organized so you don't forget things. Put things in front of you. If you can have a vision board for the school you're applying for, write it in front of you, tick things as they go, write out all the documents that each school will require, so that as you are looking at it, you can be seeing it every morning and be ticking things as they go. As you're doing, you won't be able to imagine how much that really helps, so that you won't forget anything. Put the different deadlines there as well. Yes, and just having people review my essays. I had several. In fact, there was a time, there was this. I'm not going to do publicity for them for free. There was this company, there's these two Commonwealth Scholar company that had a company to help people review essays, and you pay. At some point when it got to, I said, okay, I'm going to pay for this person to review my essay, at least one of my essays, so that if I see the corrections he did, because I really wanted a professional. I've been doing it in different ways, but because I had put my all for that year in those 6 essays, I was willing to get as many reviews on my essay as I could. So I paid. They reviewed one of my essays, so I looked at the structure and the corrections they made to then also correct some of my other 5 essays. Even the one they particularly structured, I didn't get that one. I didn't get that one, but I got another one. So I'm just telling you that get as many people to review your essays as much as possible. Lastly, some of the corrections they will put for you, for some people, you might not always have to accept all, because the person reviewing it, if the person doesn't really understand Commonwealth shared scholarship, they might even remove some things that are important. So when somebody review your essay, don't just collect everything hook, like, and sinker. You need to check how the corrections they've made matches what Commonwealth requires. Accept the ones that actually make sense. And if you think, I'm not really sure, removing this line, I really want this line to be there, keep it. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, we're coming to the end of today's webinar. But before we get to that bridge, I feel Doris still have something to give to the people. So yeah.
Yes, I just have a few advice for you guys. Hope I've not forgotten anyone. First of all, I like to say you should not rush. You should not do anything in a hurry. You saw the scholarship today, you want to start applying today. I don't know, except it's a miracle, but it's not some thing you do out of it took me 6 months to arrange everything that I used for, like, I started from the previous year into, like, you need to be organized. Like she said, you need to be organized, you need to actually plan yourself. That's one. Secondly, every little thing matter, every little detail matter. As a matter of fact, for the part where I had to write about my voluntary experience during my NYSC, I I was a parade commander for my what do they call it? They give everybody groups. I was my group parade commander, and we came second. I actually added that in my voluntary experience, like the stuffs I did, because that was for the federal government, and it was part of, like, a kind of experience for me. So I added it. So every little thing actually matters. And then finally, my I like to advise you guys, if you're currently an undergraduate, or if you're a graduate, you should work with your supervisor, your previous supervisor. That is actually what I did. Like, how do I put it? Okay, after my university days, I and my supervisor, we stopped talking. Like, we didn't have any connection. I was done with my projects. What connection do I have to do with what do I have to do with him? We're done with school, and that's it. And then when I went to the common when I found about the when I heard about the Commonwealth scholarship, I read about the document that will be needed of me, the requirements, and I found out that actually, if you've been able to maybe publish papers, you have like a stronger edge. You will have like what's the
Yeah,
word?
sorry to cut you short. Doris, sorry, you'll still continue. Just I want Hayomide to just give us one word before she
Why do you keep cutting me?
sorry, just sorry, please. Yeah, Hayomide, do you have just one word to say to us, and we give it over to Doris. You're muted. Okay, then.
I wish everybody applying all the best and success in their applications. And I really pray that God will crown your hard work and your labor with good success.
Yeah.
Please,
Thank you
yeah.
so much. Yeah, over to Doris, please. Now, thank you.
Bye.
Right.
Okay, so bye. So, like I was saying, um I went back to him, told him that I needed to work with him, even as a voluntary research assistant. I just had to do something just to build up my CV. So, what I'm trying to say in essence is, you don't just have to, basically, based on the work experience, you don't just have to sit there and feel like, okay, there is nothing you can do. You can actually do something. Go back to people that you've known before, the connection that you've made, your teachers, your lecturers. Just go back to them and find something doing. That's just the little advice I have for each and every one of you. And I wish each and every one of you good luck in your application. I pray that everything will work out very well for you guys. Amen. Thank you
And
so
then,
much.
no, you are
Thank
not
you.
leaving yet. We have
Oh
also,
my god.
if you are to, if you are to
Oh
go
my
back in
god.
time, if you are to go back in time and like apply again, what will you do differently this time?
What will I do differently? I'll change my school.
No, as regarding the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, how
Uh,
would you approach it differently?
I would have approached it. I don't think I would have approached it in any different manner, because what I did actually got me what I wanted. So why should I approach it in a different way? The only thing maybe I would have done is, maybe I would have made my essay more like, if I'm when I reading my essay currently, it feels like I didn't really write much, based on, then I was a learner. I didn't really know how to write. But right now, if you ask me to write again for the scholarship, I'll do better than I did previously. That's just it. But overall, I'm perfect with how everything went through.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time today. And I would
It's
like
all
to
right.
thank no, we head together. And I would like to thank the organizers for today's meeting. That's Ejiro and Buchi. And also, I would like to appreciate the our viewers from every part of the world and those that will be watching the video for taking your time to watch through the whole series. And yeah, I would just like to add to whatever you've heard today is just to like give you an awakening call that if you can look at through, you would see this whole stress. You can see Doris went through watching 17 videos and the likes, went through Ayomide went through the stress of pain, sacrifice of even paying for reviewers. So these things are not just something you just come up one day and wake up and say you just want to apply. They are There's a lot going on behind the scenes. Just there's more to the whole congratulations you've been selected. There's days whereby you looked at yourself during the application season and you ask yourself, am I really doing the right thing? Am I really in the right path? What can I do differently? Stuff like that. Don't worry. Everyone you've seen that have been a success in this application actually went through that phase. So, and I would also like to thank Doris Kuru for her time. I'd like to thank Ayomide as well for her time. It has been an amazing moment with you both, and trust me, you can't really imagine what the sacrifice they made in going about coming to join the meeting today and share their experience. They all have a lot to do, and it's not really easy for them just coming to this call. So would really like to and also I would like to thank the viewers for your time. Please throw light on personal statement in case you have already explained that. Personal statement. Sorry, I will just write to okay. So for the personal statement, generally is just your personal, just about you. Just try to get previous videos. I don't want to go through that. We're already ending the meeting. So just go through previous videos we have. Check through the YouTube channel. You'll see videos on personal statements, statement of purpose, CVs, and the like. You can watch through and you'll get more insight on how to come about your personal statement. And yeah, like I was saying, I would like to appreciate Doris. I would like to appreciate the viewers. I would like to appreciate the organizers for today's meeting. And I am once again Olisias Oluwafemi. And if you would like to, if you have any other questions you would like to ask, feel free. You can see the name displayed. You could actually just check that and connect with them on LinkedIn and connect with them on LinkedIn and the likes, LinkedIn. And one thing about connection is please don't just go about good morning, good afternoon, and you're expecting response. Please be direct with your questions because they are very busy. Trust me, they are very, very busy. So you don't want them, you don't expect them to be to come and be like, oh, good morning, and they ask, how are you doing? And this like that's not necessary. Thanks for connecting and just go straight to the point. And yeah, so that's that for today. The corridors, thank you so much for your time. And also, I once again appreciate Ayomide and also the organizers. Like I will always say, as you are getting your breakfast, be preparing your lunch so you get a wonderful dinner. What do I mean by that? Breakfast is your rejection. Preparing your lunch is other application. You can hear Mayomide. She said she applied for 6 institutes. It's not easy, trust me. So as you are getting your breakfast, which is rejection, be preparing your lunch, be submitting, just be training back to back. And finally, you get a wonderful dinner, which is your congratulatory message. Trust me, the yes is not just for us alone. It is for you. It is for everyone watching at the moment, and it's for everyone that will watch in the future. Thank you, and we come to the end of today's webinar. Good luck. I want to make sure we use that precise 1 hour 30 minutes, and yeah, it was an amazing moment with you all. Success. Bye.